All right, my friends, how are you? Hey, it's old Pops back. Listen, we got a good one here today. Listen, all credit for this goes to Edward Fielding, and appreciate it if you go show some love on his channel. As we subscribed. This is Paul Harvey, So God Made a Farmer. Now, there's a reason I'm doing this, because I got one of my favorite questions again this week after we did an animated video. I think it was last weekend, because it was a Sabaton video. I think it was. One of my favorite questions I get, though, is how do you not know about animation or anime? You're on YouTube. How do you not know about this? Well, there's a reason for that, and I'm going to give it to you. I was raised on and around, and when I say on and around, I mean, I'll tell you about that in a second. I was raised on and around the family dairy farm. My grandfather owned a dairy farm, and it was a working dairy farm. So there was cows to milk every morning. There was also hay to bale. There was silage to put up, cornfields to, all that. So, and then, of course, the farm was pretty much self-contained, so you had well water, and you had raspberry patches that had to be picked. You had a vegetable garden that had to be tended to. Chickens that had to be, you had to get eggs, this, that, and the other. So yeah, a good friend and I were talking about this the other day because he was raised around the same type of thing, except on a ranch, a cattle ranch. So, yeah, that's why. Because we worked 7 days a week. We always said we could work before we could walk. And when you weren't working and you had a little extra time, well, you were either watching the news and Lawrence Welk with Grandpa in the evening time, or you were reading or doing dishes, whatever. So, yeah, everybody in the family was around the farm. Even after we got older and, until I went in the Army, summers were spent on the farm because there was hay to bale and crops to get up, potatoes and corn and, cows to milk and this, that, and the other. So, that's just the way it was. Now, in the mornings, when we got up on the farm, right, they got breakfast together. We had breakfast, and while we were having breakfast, this gentleman was on the radio with his rest of the story. This gentleman by the name of Paul Harvey. This is So God Made a Farmer. It's a really cool one. I remember this from back in the day, many, many years ago. I remember him doing this one. I also remember a few more of his. If y'all want to see more, you let me know. We'll get it done. Thank you to Edward Fielding for this. Let's check it out and see. We'll have some fun with this one. So that's why, if y'all ever, want to know, go back and watch this, because we didn't have time to watch cartoons. We didn't have time for animation, this, that, and the other. And if we read, it was, Hardy Boys books or, books of the day or, this, that, and the other. So, yeah, that's the way it was. It's all good, though, because it taught us a great work ethic, and I still have that today. So, as much as I can, anyway. I can't do what I used to do, but, hey, it's all good, too. So, let's check it out. Paul Harvey, So God Made a Farmer. Let's go.
And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody willing to get up before dawn, milk cows, work all day in the fields, milk cows again, eat supper, then go to town and stay past midnight at a meeting of the school board. So God made a farmer.
Now, when he says that, it wasn't always the school board. My grandfather was also a mason and a Shriner. So we went there a lot too. Pancake breakfast and parades and things like that. When there was time, you know. Somebody had to stay behind when he went to parades and such as that for the Shriners or, went to pancake breakfast. Somebody had to stay behind and do the work too. So there was always that as well.
I need somebody with arms strong enough to wrestle a calf and yet gentle enough to deliver his own grandchild. Somebody to call hogs, tame cantankerous machinery, come home hungry, have to wait lunch until his wife's done feeding visiting ladies, then tell the ladies to be sure and come back real soon, and mean it. So God made a farmer.
Also true. My grandmother, my mother, two of my aunts were members of the Eastern Star. And, yeah, they had that, too.
God said I need somebody willing to sit up all night with a newborn colt and watch it die, and dry his eyes and say maybe next year. I need somebody who can shape an axe handle from a persimmon sprout, shoe a horse with a hunk of car tire, who can make harness out of hay, wire, feed sacks, and shoe scraps, who planting time and harvest season will finish his 40-hour week by Tuesday noon, and then painin' from tractor back put in another 72 hours. So God made a farmer.
Exactly. 100-hour weeks were nothing. That was, every week. Those of you that have never been on a working farm, that's just the way it is. Those of you that have, 100-hour weeks, 110, 112, 114, 15-hour weeks. That's just it's an every week occurrence,
God had to have somebody willing to ride the ruts at double speed to get the hay in ahead of the rain clouds and yet stop in midfield and race to help when he sees the first smoke from a neighbor's place. So God made a farmer. God said, I need somebody strong enough to clear trees and heave bales, yet gentle enough to yean lambs and wean pigs and tend the pink-combed pullets who will stop his mower for an hour to splint the broken leg of a meadowlark. So God made a farmer. It had to be somebody who'd plow deep and straight and not cut corners, somebody to seed, weed, feed, breed, and rake and disc and plow and plant and tie the fleece and strain the milk and replenish the self-feeder and finish a hard week's work with a 5-mile drive to church. Somebody who'd bail a family together with the soft, strong bonds of sharing, who would laugh and then sigh and then reply with smiling eyes when his son says that he wants to spend his life doing what Dad does. So God made a farmer.
Yep, exactly. Boy, that's a classic. I remember that one. Shoo, boy. He did some good ones. If y'all want to see more from Paul Harvey, we'll gladly do it. If you don't, that's fine too. But that's just, it's one of my favorite questions I get because it's like, I mean, this is, every bit of it is true, So, yeah. Listen, I appreciate y'all sticking around for that one. That was fun. That brings back memories. Between the music in the morning, which was usually, stuff like, on the farm, it was like Glenn Miller and Andrew's Sisters and things like that. And then, this would come on. Paul Harvey would come on with his Rest of the Day series, and then every once in a while he'd do one of these. So God Made a Farmer, or what was some of the other ones? Oh boy. If I Were the Devil, things like that, Pretty good stories and pretty cool stuff he did. But that was, back when radio, you listened to the radio in the morning, you watched TV for, an hour in the evening to watch the news and Lawrence Welk, and that was pretty much it. Wide world of sports on Sunday afternoon if you had a few minutes, So, yeah, thank you for the questions. Y'all keep them coming. Let me know what you want to see. We'll get it done. Y'all have a great, great day, my friend. Hey, don't forget to join us. We got a great, we're going to hang live about 4 o'clock this afternoon, my time. So at 5 o'clock Eastern time, y'all come join us, all right? We'll see y'all later. This old Pops. We are out.